is your demand for the entire year, demand of your family, ठीक है, so that you can get a bulk discount on it. चाय तो हम लोग पीते ही है ना, तो आपने मान लिया है कि you have a consumption of 100 packets in a year, so you are going to buy those 100 packets in one go so that you can get a good amount of discount while purchasing a bulk amount of packets, bulk number of packets, ठीक है. So if you are given an option कि check whether the quality of your tea is good, bad or average, right? If you are given this opportunity by your seller, students, are you paying attention enough to understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you went to the shop, you collected all 100 packets. How will you check whether that is in a good quality or not? Will you check all the hundreds?
No,
Is it possible to check all the 100 packets
no, sir.
of tea? Correct. So it is not possible for all of you. So what you will do? You will open how many packets? Maybe 5 packets or 10 packets maximum.
Yes, sir.
So you will open 10 packets. So this 10 is your sample size out of 100. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now when you have taken 10 packets, you have taken samples from 10 packets, okay, you are asked or you are given an option to check the quality of the tea. So how will you check the quality of the tea? By preparing it? Yes or no? Tell me. Is there any other way that you can check the quality of the tea? The only option is you have to prepare that. Okay. So first time you prepare, out of those 10, you have taken, in some cases you will prepare the tea from all 10. In that case, the number of observations is equal to number of samples. Are you getting my point, students? You have collected samples of 10. So you are trying to observe the taste and the quality of the tea. Forget about the quality. Quality may be checked, visually or by smelling the fragrance of the tea. Forget about it. The taste of the tea. Okay. How will you check the taste of the tea? Only by preparing it. So what can happen? You have to prepare 10 times for all the 10 samples. That is on one option. So your number of observation is equals to number of samples, which we have discussed in the last class. That number of observation is equals to the number of samples. In some cases, what means what would be your more precise check? So one time maybe your taste is not coming. Okay. So what happened that say out of those 10, say maybe 5th number of packet which you have opened and prepared a cup of tea out of that, right? It may happen that the quality of that tea is good, but somehow at that point of time when you have prepared that cup of tea, it not given the kind of taste which should be given. So sometime you need to make the tea from the same packet twice, thrice, or means more than one. So from each sample you can make multiple observations. What I am trying to say here is, you have taken 10. The straightforward way is one observation for each sample, but even more, you can make more than one observation out of each sample. Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that you can come to the conclusion, yes, this particular sample, say sample number 6 or sample number 7 is in good quality or in bad quality or in average quality, if you are given these 3 options. Correct? I hope I have explained this. So it's up to the problem which we are trying to achieve, we are trying to solve, and what kind of modeling approach we are trying to take, right? It depends upon that how many observation we should make. It depends on the process, right? Process of this, of the modeling. What kind of statistical modeling we are trying to make here, right? In some cases, it is not obvious that number of samples is always equals to number of observations. These are very fundamental things that you have to be very clear of. So in some cases, I will say from sample number 1, we had 4 observation. In sample number 2, we have, 4 observations. So you may become a bit confused कि सर क्या बोल रहे हैं, एक sample से 4 observation कैसे हो सकता है. So this is how we do it. Okay. So that is what we have to, this is how we calculate the mean. Now the population mean, it is represented by mu. Sample mean is represented by X bar. Students, please try to appreciate this. These notations are very, very much universal in nature. So whenever we try to express the calculation of mean, we always use these similar notations, right? Xi's are your observations, right? Observation values, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. So whenever I am talking about the population mean, so the population is your, the sum of the values of the observations. Okay. So here we don't collect the sample. So we take the entire population as a population while doing the mathematics, and number of observation in the population. Okay. Whatever observation we have made. So there is no, sampling happen in population mean. Right? If your number of population is less, you can do that. When your number of population is very high, you have to test 1000 boxes of or 1000 packets of rice. If your population is that much humongous, what you will do? You have to collect the samples. But in some cases, you can. So if you go to buy a car, so obviously your population is equals to your observation, है ना? Your population is equals to your samples is equals to your observation. Mostly we don't have that many cars at your place, na? Are you getting my point? So whenever you have to deal with more and more number of things, more and more number of observation, we always collect samples and try to measure the implication of those samples over the entire population. That is what we try to understand. Now an example. So an apartment rents is given. So 70 efficiency apartments were randomly sampled in a college town. So monthly rents for these apartments are listed below. So these are your rents. So of all 70. So you can see how the mean is calculated. So the total is 41,356 divided by 70. So your mean of rent is 590.80. It is something how we calculate. The median of a data set is the value in the middle when the data items are arranged in an ascending order. Can you give me an example, anyone? You have studied it in your board. What do you mean by median? Students? Students, Pratham?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by median? So many of you have dropped already. I can see this. Okay. What do you mean by median?
Sir, median is a middle number.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, ascending or descending.
So if I ask you to point out the median value from this, how will you do that?
Sir, I have to apply the formula.
क्या formula है median का?
Sir, first we have to arrange the numbers in numerical order.
Numerical? These are all numerical numbers. Numerical thing, numerical data is there.
Yes, sir. Then we'll count how many numbers we have. Sir, if we have an odd number,
70.
we'll divide. Huh?
We have 70.
So, sir, even number will plus 1 and divide by 2.
That would be your median value.
Sir, 35. Yes, sir, median value.
For an odd number of observation, so if
You
we
add
have
1 and divide by 2.
So what we will do if we have 7 observations in that case?
Sir, 7 plus 1 divided by 2.
So 7 plus 1 is 8.
Yes, sir. Divided by 2, 4.
Divided by 2. Why you are dividing it by 2?
So that's the formula.
No, I am saying, see, if you have say 7 numbers, right? 26, 18, 27,
14.
12, 14, 27, 19. Okay. What would be your first step to do the median calculation? What I have
So first
said
we have
here,
to arrange in
the
ascending order.
median of the
Yes,
data
sir,
is the
ascending
value
order.
in the middle when the data items are arranged in an ascending order. So whenever a data set has extreme values, the median is preferred measure of central location. Correct? The median is the measure of location
Yes,
most often reported for annual income and property value data or something like that. A few extremely large incomes or property values can inflate the mean. So that is just an example. But here you just say if I have 7 values, what would be the first step to identify the median?
So first we have to arrange in ascending order, no?
So 12, 14, 18, 19, 26, 27, 27.
Yes, sir.
So what is the middle number here? If it is odd number of
19,
observations.
19.
Okay, okay. If it is if it is an even number,
Sir, 22.5.
how it is done? We have to pick both the middle values
And divided by 2. Yes.
and divide it by 2. Is it clear to everyone, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. So we will get a central tendency, right? Now this example we can apply on the apartment rents data, right? Okay. So there is another term called trimmed mean. So another measure sometimes used when the extreme values are present is also called the trimmed mean. Okay. So that is also called as outliers, right? So it is obtained by the deleting the percentage of the smallest and largest values from a data set, then computing the mean of remaining values. This is also called removing the outliers. Is it clear? For example, the 5% trimmed mean is obtained by the removing of the smallest 5% and the largest 5% of the data values, then computing the mean of the remaining values. Say if I get a value here, say 1250, will you take it in the calculation of mean or median? Is it good to have it in the calculation of mean? Say I have one entry here, 1215. Don't you think that will impact? What is the purpose of doing the mean? We are trying to assess what kind of rent we have in a particular residential area. That is what we are trying to assess through this data. Yes or no? Tell me, students. Students, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Correct. So we are trying to assess the, what kind of rent is there in a particular location. So if I get a value of 1250, that would not be that. What do you think? That would be the outlier?
Yes, sir. Because this might be normal house and that might be a penthouse, let's say.
So we need not to, include that as a observation in the entire population, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we can eliminate that. So that is called trimmed mean or removed outlier, right? So the mode of the data set is the value occurs with greatest frequency. The greatest frequency can occur at 2 or more than different values. So if the data have exactly 2 modes, that is, so the data are bimodal. If the data have more than 2 modes, are called multimodal. So for an example, so if I have a range of frequency, means say starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So 550 occurred the most frequent, which is 7, right? So your mode would be 550. So more number of repeats of same data means data or observation value with highest number of frequency is your mode. Is it clear? Students,
Yes,
please respond. All of you,
Yes,
I request you.
Yes, sir.
Because it is very difficult to check whether you are consuming everything or not. So in some instances, weighted mean is also calculated by giving each observation a weight that reflects its relative importance, right? So the choice of weights depends on the application. The weights might be the number of credit hours earned for each grade. So this is just an example, as in a GPA or in other weighted mean computation, quantities such as pounds, dollars, or volume are frequently used. So so the formulation is we have to multiply the observation value with the number of weight, whatever I'm assigning to that particular observation, the value of the observation, weight for the observation, right? And we have to divide it by the weight to calculate the mean, weighted mean. Okay. So for an example, a construction wages example where we can see, say Ron Butler, a home builder, is looking over the expenses he incurred for a house just built. So for the purpose of pricing future project, he would like to know the average wage, dollar per hour he paid to the workers he employed. So listed below are the categories of workers he employed, along with the respective wage and the total hours worked. So for carpenter, he has given a wage, say $21.60 per hour, whereas total hours are 520. Whereas electrician is paid by $28.72 per hour, whereas electrician worked for 230 hours, and the laborer has got $11.8 per hour, whereas laborer worked for 410 hours. Painters 19.75 for 270 hours. Plumber $24.16 for 160 hours. So here we should apply the weighted mean. That what would be the construction wage, average construction, or the mean of wage. So for that we can apply some weights. So so in this case, the weights are the number of hours the person worked, right? We are trying to get the average of this wage per hour. Is it clear to everyone? We have to multiply this number of hours the carpenter worked as an weight has to be multiplied with the wage per hour, so that we can have a weighted mean of wage per hour. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
So you
sir.
see this.
Yes, sir.
For equally weighted, simple mean would be 21.21, whereas weighted mean is 20.05, because this is more precise, because we are trying to see the influence of each and every, means how much work is there for carpenter, electrician, laborer, painter and plumber. We are trying to assess the importance of each and every type of worker. On the basis of that, this wage is calculated. Wage per hour is calculated. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so trimmed mean, we have already talked about. The geometric mean is calculated by finding the nth root of the product of n values. It is often used in analyzing growth rates in financial data, whereas using the arithmetic mean will provide a misleading result. So for example, root of the order of n, x1 multiplied by x2 up to xn. So this is something, the values of observation under root of nth order. That is called the geometric mean. So for the return rate, say if the return rate percentage is -6%, -8%, -4%, 2%, 5.4%, and the growth factors are 0.94, 0.92, 0.96, 1.02, 1.05, then what we will do, we have to take an average of the growth factor, that is 0.94 into 0.92 into 0.96 into 1.02, 1.054 root over 5. Correct? That would be your geometric mean. That is your 0.97752. This is very, very much useful when we have humongous amount of data. Say we have 1 lakh of data, we have to do a mean. This geometrical mean is very, very much useful when we have high number of records. So it is not always financial, but it is in financial records, the number of records are much more higher than the others. Even in production also we have huge number of records. So on those cases you can apply geometric mean technique, which will give you an arithmetic, a more precise, understanding of your location or measure of your location. Whenever I'm saying location, that means the central tendency. Okay. Okay. So percentile and quartile we will start in the next day. So this is up to geometric mean. So is it clear to everyone? Do you have any doubt whatever we have talked today? I hope if I give you any work to do, any quantitative problem to do, you can do that. You can calculate the mean, median and mode if I give you any data.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
क्या हुआ
Yes,
इतना?
sir.
थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस से बोलिए. हाँ ठीक है सर, कर देंगे. ये क्या बात है?
Yes, sir, will do it.
Yes, sir.
Very good, very good, very good.
Excuse me, sir.
हाँ बोलिए.